Hey folks, today we're going to be taking a quick look at an MSI G66 Stealth. This is the 10SF and Sierra Foxtrot -683US. And I'm going to give you some close-up looks of it, but first we'll take a look at the specs on this particular configuration. And so let me pull up the device manager here, get a little bit tighter so you can read all that. So you can see this one comes with a 1 terabyte SSD. It's got, of course, the integrated Intel UHD graphics and then the GeForce RTX 2070 with the Max Q. And I'll pull up the video RAM and all that next. If you're interested in the network adapters, you can pause there and get all that information. And then you can see the processor all expanded right there. Pull up the Explorer so you can see it is a 1 terabyte SSD like I mentioned. Let's also pull up the other system properties page. So you can see this one has the Core i7, the 10th generation, the 10SF-683US clocking in at 2.6 gigahertz with 16 gigs of RAM. And then this specific unit has Windows 10 or Windows 11 rather home installed on it currently. And then as far as the graphics go, let me pull up the NVIDIA control panel and we'll get a look at some of those different specs here. So you can see it has a dedicated VRAM of 8 gigs there, and then total 16 gigabytes. All right, and I'll just scroll through here in case there's anything else you want to see in that properties window. And then as far as the native screen resolution goes, on this one it is 1920 by 1080. 1920 by 1080. All right, and of course this one has built-in Wi-Fi, no surprise, right? And so those are the basic specs on this particular unit. I think we've had a couple similar MSI laptops in the shop, and we might have done a video on at least one of them before. But this one, I will say the screens in general on these seem to be pretty decent, pretty bright, especially as I turn it from side to side. You can see the brightness and the viewing angle is pretty decent, and overall, I mean, everything just looks real vibrant. So I think they do a good job sourcing their screens there. But let's take a look at the actual body and the chassis and kind of go over some of the basic layout there. So we'll start here kind of with the keyboard, and you can see that it is a pretty decent full-size keyboard. It does not have a numeric keypad off to the side, but they do have some of these home, page up, page down buttons kind of integrated into the side there, and then a little bit of some bezel on both sides there. And then down on each corner here, these are kind of like speaker ports, and they're part of what they call the Dyna audio. And so that's what these little inserts are. So kind of different compared to having a grill. They've got these little ports out here, and I don't know, maybe they do better with bass, handling bass, or making it more clear compared to a conventional grill style. Then you can see it's got a decent sized trackpad area. You pull out a ruler so you can see how big that is. All right, so that is about 5.5 inches across on that trackpad. And then the material itself, the casing, it's some kind of alloy, that's been, I imagine, painted some way. It has a very nice finish. It certainly will show fingerprints, but they wipe off because it's metal. It doesn't. It's got a little bit of a texture. It's hard to describe, but it's a little bit of a texture, so it's not completely smooth and glossy, but it's not a thick texture that would catch, dirt and debris. I mean, it's still smooth to the touch when you run across. Then at the top, you can see it's got a bunch of grills here for ventilation. So quite a bit of ventilation along the top here. And then they've got the little Steel Series logo kind of pressed into the metal there. And you can see the hinges, how they're designed on either side up here. And that is basically it. The keyboard is backlit, but I don't believe you can change the colors. I think it's just a static color, kind of like an orangish, kind of an amber. You can see it kind of pulsating once in a while as the sensor thinks it's darker. So that's what the keyboard looks like there. Let's take a look though at the front of the laptop here. Get it to focus in real good here on the front. All right, there we go. So you can see what that looks like. It's just a front bezel, nothing fancy there on the front, real plain and simple. Flip it around to the right side, Get it to focus again for you. All right, there you go. So you can see we've got our audio port here, a tri-port, looks like for headset and mic. And sorry about the focus there, folks. There we go. And then you can see it does have a USB-C high speed, and then 2 more USB. And I believe those are also high speed. Yeah, I can see the little icon, the little logo right there. And then we've got an Ethernet port and then lots of cooling. So this one has some pretty decent cooling. You can see the fins in there, and like I showed you on the top, all the vents for ventilation. We're going to see the same story on the bottom here as well. All right, we'll flip it over to the back side, and no ports or anything, but lots of ventilation again. You can see just all the way across, a little bit more on this side compared to the other side, but just all the way across. This part here is more of a texture. It's kind of closed in, whereas this is all open here. All right, then on the right side, we've got, again, more ventilation. We've got our charging port. We've got another USB, and this is for charging right here, designated to plug a USB-C charger into. We've got HDMI and then another high-speed USB conventional there. Then it looks like right here we've got a little microphone built in, labeled there. And that's pretty much it. So you can see it's a pretty simple, basic laptop. Not a whole lot going on. I mean, I think they gave you the right ports that people are looking for. But let me give you a view of the back of the casing here. And so you can see just all that ventilation. So all this at the top, these little pinholes that you're seeing are all ventilation all the way across. In fact, as I turn it, I don't know that this is going to show up in video very well, but I can see the fans inside. It looks like there's one here, looks like another one right there, and maybe another one up here. You can just barely make out as the light's kind of passing in there where all the fans are. So lots of cooling going on this particular unit. Then you'll see it does have kind of a rubber base cushion on the back here that's a little bit taller than the one on the front here. So I'm not sure that that shows up very well in video, but this one is definitely a lot taller compared to the one here on the bottom. And then it's got some little supports on the middle that I imagine are equal between the two here to support it as you're typing away there. All right, if you're interested in the specific model and you want to Google the specs, you feel free to pause the video now and get that full model. Again, it's the GS66 Stealth 10SF-683US. All right, so I think that is just about everything. I'm noticing on this one, it has the little factory seal sticker, the tamper sticker broken there. So this one's obviously been opened up. But speaking of which, if you wanted to open up the bottom, it's pretty straightforward and simple. You've got a total of, it looks like 6, 7, 8, 9 screws approximately on the bottom there. And then this whole panel comes off. So that's pretty nice for serviceability. But really, I think that's about it on this particular unit there. You can see the top real quickly. I don't think I showed you that. Just got the logo on it, and that's about it. But this is a nice form factor. You know, it's something that I think has a lot to offer for someone interested in a laptop like this. So I hope these close-up views are helpful. But for those who aren't familiar with JBrokers, we are a risk-free secondhand marketplace, and we buy and sell all kinds of gadgets just like this gaming laptop right here. So if you're interested in selling, definitely check out our website at jaybrokers.com. That's JAYbrokers.com. Thanks for watching.